we are going to talk about various countries which we have done it almost a month ago. The same thing will be repeated. I'm going to talk about this wonderful country, Ireland. Mr. Vikas, who is staying at Germany, he will talk about German education system, followed by my colleague, Mr. Advait Aris. He will talk about Canadian education system. And Amaya sir from India, he will talk about United States education system. Then we all will take answer all your questions. So that will be the agenda for the today, right? Before starting my presentation, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Santosh Raj Bhattu. I'm working as a vice president of this wonderful company called Fact. Professionally, I have 9 years of experience in guiding students for various countries and courses. How I started my journey with this education industry. While pursuing my bachelor's, there was a need of making my money for my living. That's how I started working as a tutor, teaching to students who are preparing for their 10th board exams. Later, when I moved on for my MBA program, I was actively working for educational institutions, colleges, organizing the fest. I felt I have a passion towards education industry. Today, it's not just my passion, it is not just my need, it is also my profession. Coming to my educational qualifications, I have done my MBA from top 50 B schools with marketing and finance as my specializations. I did my MSc in bioinformatics, BSc in biotechnology, B.Ed in biology, and D pharmacy. Apart from that, every year I will try to do certain new certifications. Today, I have 28 certifications. Now, people ask me, you are working as a vice president, you have enough qualifications. Why do you do this? Why you participate in various certifications? Because I strongly believe that never stop learning because life never stops teaching. So I am open. I want to update myself. Today, we all are meeting in this pandemic situation. We never used to it, right? But I'm become used to it because of the last 3 months. I'm taking the presentations. You are attending your sessions by sitting at home. We can do this only if we are flexible. Let's move on. So I'm going to talk about Ireland education system. This is not like other countries, United States, UK, or maybe to some extent Germany. People are aware about these countries, but when it comes to Ireland, very limited people are aware about it. So I'm going to talk about it. The population of Ireland is just 5 millions, right? They have just 30 institutions who can offer various programs. Now, coming to the actual points, I have been to this country with my family. I dealt with drivers while traveling in cabs. I met educational directors, counselors, professors. I also have certain interactions with Ireland education system. With this experience, I can say that Irish people are very friendly and welcoming. They don't show any kind of racism. The crime rate is very low. With all these factors, it is very friendly and safe for the students. Apart from visiting United Kingdom and Ireland, I have also been to a couple of other countries in Europe. Except UK and Ireland, no other country is 100% English speaking. I'm talking about European countries. Now, language matters. If you are going to a new country, if you don't understand or if you cannot communicate, how can you imagine your life spending happily inside the campus and outside the campus? So here, if you're thinking about Ireland, you need not to worry about the language. If you can manage with simple English, it becomes very easy for living there. Now, how will be the education system at Ireland? As I said, there are only 30 institutions which are divided into universities, colleges, and institutes of technology. And all these institutions putting together, they will offer around 5,000 courses. I'm talking about the tertiary education system after 12th, the undergrad program, the master's program, and PhD. All this putting together, they have around 5,000 programs. Now, what will be the cost if you want to study, if you want to join one of the 5,000 programs? The tuition fees varies from 10,000 euros to 40,000 euros. This is the tuition fees, what they charge. Now, are there any scholarships available? It is not like US who will give you scholarships up to 100%, and it is also not like Germany where you can expect free of cost education, but they do offer scholarships up to 40%. It depends on your IELTS or TOEFL exam. It depends on your academics and also your extracurricular activities. If you have GRE or GMAT, that will be an additional, document what you have, but it is not compulsory to get into these institutions. Now, as I said, they will give normally up to 40%, but me and my team at FACT, we always try to, break the records. We try to send our students with maximum scholarship possible. This year, one of my students from India, Tirth Shah, he got 50% scholarship. As I said, fees will be from 10,000 to 40,000 euros per year, but he is going to pay just 7,500 euros per year. So this is what, we can do. Irish people are very innovative and creative. The games what they play are different. The innovations what they do every year shows that they are very creative. If I want to take few examples, the color photography is come from Irish people. Usage of internet in commercial flights as used first time by Irish people. Like that, there are many innovations happening inside the country Ireland. This is very, very important point. If you want to just have your education, if you are going to a right university in whichever country it may be, it's fine. You can complete, you can gain a lot of inputs and you can come back. But if you are thinking about settlement, because when you are investing your crucial time and hard-earned money, you also need to think about settlement. So for settlement, you should think about job opportunities. Now, in the whole Europe, Ireland is becoming as a headquartered place. All the multinational companies who want to operate in Europe, now Europe is almost with 50 countries. So if you start your company in one of these countries in Europe, you can also travel to other countries. Now UK has separated, that's a different story, but rest all other countries are together. And corporate taxes at Ireland are very less when compared to any other European country. Because of this reason, almost all the multinational companies are starting their headquarters in Ireland. Now, when you go as a student, getting a job in any sector, especially sectors related to, software industry or internet-based industry, pharmaceuticals, life sciences, or financial services, it becomes very easy. And 7 out of top 10 companies in Europe are headquartered in this Ireland, with which I can say that getting a job is also possible if you are going to Ireland. Now, settlement opportunities. They always use a concept called 1-2-3. Now, what is this 1-2-3? Your program for masters will be for 1 year. Then followed by you will get 2 years of extra stay back time. In these 2 years, you can find a job. As I said, there are a lot of global companies headquartered at Ireland, so it is not very difficult to find a job in the 2 years. Once you get a job in the 2 years, you can stay under the employer's visa for 3 more years. After staying for that 3 more years, you can apply for permanent residency. I repeat the concept of 1-2-3: 1 year of education, 2 years of stay back, 3 years of staying under employer's visa, then directly you can apply for permanent residency. Now, after staying for a few years under permanent residency, after paying the taxes and all, you can apply for becoming a citizen. So this is the whole story about Ireland. Because of these factors, I can say that you can also consider Ireland as one of your destinations. Now, is it Ireland good for every student, whatever he wants to study? No. There are few sectors which are very famous in Ireland, like if you are looking for technology related courses like computer science, business analytics, this can be a great destination. If you are looking for pharmaceuticals, like pharmacy or something related to that, Ireland can be a great country. If you are looking for life sciences like biotechnology, microbiology, this is also one of the developed sectors. Financial services, yes, this is also one of the countries. These are the few sectors which are very developed, and they divide their employment opportunities into two categories: general category and critical category, right? So by considering all these factors, if you are looking for these courses, definitely Ireland can be one of the best options for you. Now, how to evaluate? We also meet people one to one. We'll try to understand your background, what kind of budget are you looking, what scores have you maintained in your bachelor's. Based on that, we will suggest you whether Ireland is the right country or not. It's not only that, I will also recommend which institutions you should try, how you can achieve some scholarships. So everything can be discussed on one-on-one basis. Today, I just have 10 minutes to complete my session. Before winding up, I would like to show you a video of a normal college, what they are talking about their own country. So please increase your volumes and pay attention towards this video.
When someone comes to you for employment or progression, that they have an international qualification, whether we like it or not, actually is a very positive thing to have on your curriculum vitae.
Irish graduates are high in demand on a global basis.
We have had a very strong tradition of attracting international companies into Dublin. So within a stone's throw of National College of Ireland, you have big brand international companies like Morgan Stanley, like Google, like Facebook, like LinkedIn, like Twitter. They are all around us. Technology companies, big business companies, international banking companies. And to support that, you also have the big professional service companies like PwC and A&L Goodbodies and KPMG and so on, Deloitte. They're all here in this area.
We maintain the links with industry by inviting them in regularly to meet with us and our students in the form of guest lectures or also as part of the assessment process.
You can go to business breakfasts, you can come to one of the many employer presentations we have. There's careers fairs, loads of different employer events.
So we'd have a Citibank, AIB and Bank of Ireland would all have done a presentation on campus. EY came in and talked about data analytics opportunities that they had.
The employment ratio is 96% consistently for a number of years.
The likes of Facebook and Google and Intel and PayPal and LinkedIn and all of these fantastic career opportunities that go with these companies.
There's also one-to-one mock interviews available for any student who's has been called for interview.
When I was going to my first interview, I gave her the job description and she gave like a list of questions that the interviewer could ask, and out of 10 questions, around 7 or 8 questions were asked. So yeah.
All master's graduates have a guaranteed stay-back option to work in Ireland for 2 years.
The ability to improve and enhance your language skills, your ability to socialize differently, to engage differently, will all mean that you're a much more attractive proposition for an employer.
But you will also gain tremendous skills and will really help you to present yourself as a potential employee to a major international company in the future.
So that's about that video, right? If you want to meet me personally to understand whether Ireland is the right country or not, you can email to my colleague Twinkle Dameja. She is available 24 hours. So you can email it. If you have any queries also, you can write to her. Accordingly, we can plan to meet. So that's about Ireland as a country. I hope you have taken the snapshot, or maybe you have written the email ID so that it becomes very easy for you to contact me. Right. Now I would like to invite Mr. Vikas. He is going to talk about German education system. Let me make him as a presenter. Hi Vikas sir.
Hello, hello.
I will just make you the presenter.
Thank you. My name's Vikas, and I'm associated with FACT as a German counselor from past 3.5 years now. And I'm staying in Germany from past 2.5 years. And right now I'm writing a master thesis along with a company in self-driving cars. So today, basically, I'm here to give you a short presentation about the study opportunities in Germany as to what are the opportunities and how we can help you to study over there. So this is the outline of my presentation. It's a very short presentation. It has only 3 main important points to cover. The first is the education system of German universities. Why you should study in Germany, why you should choose Germany as a country to study, and for whom it is suitable to study in Germany. So to start with education system, now this is very important to understand when you are going abroad to a particular country, and once you have chosen a particular country for your higher education, you should understand the education system of that country. It is really important to understand the education system. Germany has more than 105 state-funded universities. So these universities basically are 100% state-funded by the German government. And yeah, these are government universities, and 95% of the universities in Germany are state-funded. And these universities don't charge you any fees. You have to study. You can study free of cost over there. These universities do have 100% English taught courses. You don't have to study German in order to, get an admission over there. In order to learn different technologies over there, you can complete your masters in 100% English taught courses. There are no rankings as such in German universities. Now, this is very important. Like you people might be having a habit of looking at the ranking of a particular university when when you are looking at a particular university in USA, or suppose in Australia, you look at the world ranking, you look at the state ranking, and that is a good practice. But when it comes to Germany, I can assure you that you don't have to look at the university rankings, because all the universities are under one roof. All universities are under German government, so you don't have to think that, okay, this university in Munich would be better, or maybe the university in Berlin would be better. What I suggest my students is to look at the course and to look at the course content. Once you are comfortable with the course content, and then you can go ahead with any of the universities, I would say. So basically, there are two types of universities. One is the technical university, and second one is applied sciences. Now, there's not much of difference, as you might be people who might have thought of studying in Germany might have come across these two types of universities, and might have seen a lot of blogs or videos on this. But from my experience, I can say writing a master thesis in technical university is a little bit difficult as compared to applied sciences, and the masters in technical university would be of 2 years, and the masters in applied sciences would be of 1.5 years. So that is the only basic difference between these two universities, I would say. Now, why you should study in Germany? One of the biggest reason, I would say, because the education is free. You don't have to shell out anything from your pocket when it comes to education fees. Basically, your masters can be completed within 10 to 12 lakhs, and I can assure you, like I have sent more than 200 students to Germany, and almost 195 students are basically being placed in government universities. And this 10 to 12 lakhs is your I would say expenditure for living over there, for your travel tickets, and for your food and rents and everything. But you are allowed to work part-time in Germany. Like you can work at least 20 hours per week in any of the I would say, like if you want to work inside your campus or outside your campus, everything is legal. So you can earn at least 500-600 euros, that is 40 to 50,000 per month, by working part-time over there. And all the expenses of a month you can cover in that earning. So I have seen students completing their masters in 3 to 4 lakhs also. So that's like how cheap Germany is when it comes to expenditure for higher education abroad. You don't have to give GRE. This is another advantage of Germany. Definitely for biology students, I don't recommend them to give GRE. For pharmacy students, I don't recommend. For management student, I would recommend to give them GMAT rather than giving GRE. For engineering students, I would say now you people are exceptional. You people, if you have motivation to give GRE, then you can give it. Otherwise, I don't recommend to give you people. It is just a profile booster for you people if you are giving GRE. Simple visa process. This is one another plus point of Germany. The visa process is really simple. You don't have to show any solvency certificate, or you don't have to show any bank account statement or something. You just have to show basic education documents, and you just have to go and submit them in the embassy. There is no interview as such. There is nothing, and within 20 to 25 days, you will be getting your European Union visa. That's the Schengen visa. 18 months of job search visa. After completing your master's, you get 18-month extension of your visa. So you can stay back in Germany for next 18 months after your master's, and you can look for jobs over there. So this is one a wonderful thing. Like you have 1.5 years to look for jobs, and I think so it's much more sufficient. And even in this 18 months, even in this 1.5 year period, you are allowed to work part-time, even though you are not a student. Once you complete your master's, then you lose your student status, correct? But still, German government allows you to work after your master's in this 18-month of job search visa, because they know that students might be facing some financial issues, so they allow you to work part-time while finding your jobs. Excellent job opportunities are there in Germany. As you people know, Germany is wonderful when it comes to economic conditions. It is the richest country of Europe, and I think so in GDP, it is the third strongest country in the world. So you people don't have to worry anything about the job opportunities. Job opportunities are excellent for biology students. It's excellent for engineers, I would say. And even in engineers, people basically think that for mechanical engineers, for automotive engineers, they have really good job opportunities in Germany. But I would like to say even for IT engineers, electronics engineers, the job opportunities are excellent. I would say like for IT people, it is more easy to get a job as compared to mechanical people. For management people, the job opportunity is really good. The internships are really good. The job opportunities are really good. You people have really excellent job opportunities. The applications are cheap in Germany. You people don't have to pay anything when it comes to application. 70% of the universities, they have online applications, and the application would be totally free. You just have to scan your documents and you have to upload it on their website, or maybe you have to send it via email. Now in this COVID situations, there were some universities who were asking for air mail via courier, but even that is stopped now. The applications are 100% online, and 70 to 75% of the universities will have free applications. And maybe 20-25% of the universities, they do charge you some fees. But suppose if we are applying to 10 different universities in Germany, then your overall application cost won't be more than 4,000 to 5,000. Excellent approach towards international student. There is no racism as such in Germany. It is one of the safest country to study, to send your child abroad, to go there and work, and all the facilities, all the advantages that a German student or an EU student basically has, all the international students has those advantages. The reason for this is because Germany is lacking population right now. From past decade, their population has fallen a lot. They have really good economy, they have really good infra, they have really good technology, but they don't have skilled labors. That's the reason they are marketing their education so much. They are making the education free, a world-class education. They are making it free for students, and they are converting their education into English so that international students can come in and they can study, and later on they can work. One example I would like to give you, since I'm myself doing my master thesis over there, like right now due to the COVID situation, German government do understand that maybe students might be facing, the international students might be facing some difficulties, financial difficulties. That's the reason they are providing each and every student 500 euros. That's basically 45,000 rupees for free every month. They started this from the month of April. So every month they are paying international students 500 euros just for free. They don't have to do anything. They just have to have some student status. For whom it is suitable to study in Germany, I would say a student with a good academic background. You people, now this is a debatable topic. If you are a mechanical engineer and if you come and say, okay, I want to apply for mechatronics or material science, then it's much easier for you to get an admit. Maybe for a person with who wants to study automotive or vehicle technology, it would be a little difficult. So I would say it depends upon case to case. So basically, if you have 6.2 aggregate or 5.9 aggregate, then I won't suggest you to apply to German universities. But any aggregate above 7, you people have really good chances to get an admit. Both students interested in research as well as practical oriented universities. If you are interested in some research work, or if you are suppose if you are interested in practical oriented studies, Germany is for you in both the cases. You can, if you want to do research, you are allowed to get your own topic for master thesis, and you can do research in particular topic. Or maybe if you want to do a practical oriented study, you can do your master thesis along with a company or under the professor. Not suitable for medical students, I would say, because there are 16 states in Germany, and every state they have their own rules for medical students. So if you complete your master's in medical from one state, you have to jump to other state, and it would be really difficult to do something like that. And for medical students, you compulsory have to learn C1. That's like the highest level of German. So I won't say it is suitable for medical students. Not suitable for bachelors again, because 90% of the courses and bachelors are taught in German. They haven't converted their bachelor courses into English as of now. So I would recommend if suppose in your high school, if you are in 11th or if you are in 12th, by that time if you have at least B1 level of German, then you can come to us and we would be happy to apply for bachelors. So suppose if you don't have any motivation for German language, then please don't apply to German universities, because I'm living there and I see people struggling a lot who are just coming to German. Now, German language is not basically required for application. You don't have to learn German language for studying in the university, but to gel up with the people over there, to get a part-time job, or maybe to get a final job, at least if you learn A1 level of German, that's a basic level of German, it will help you a lot. It's not necessary to give the exam. You just have to learn some basic sentences, basic word that would not take more than 1 or 2 months, and you are ready for Germany. So to conclude, to summarize, I have 3 important points to say. If you are choosing Germany as your destination to study abroad, one point is because of the COVID situation right now, the applications are not hindered. The applications are still going on, and German universities are accepting all the students, international students. Second thing is, if every student who is having above 7 aggregate, above 7.2 suppose, then I would highly recommend that you should apply to German universities. The reason for this is because, as I said, the applications are almost free. You don't have to pay application charges. And once you get an admit in German universities, you don't have to pay even the fees. Your masters can be completed in 3 to 4 lakhs. That's the fraction of amount that you pay for other countries for higher education. The third important point is to study German language. If you have chosen Germany, then start learning German language. At least complete A1, I would say. If you're not giving the exam, it's okay, but at least learn some basic sentences and words. So thank you so much for listening to me, and I would meet you again in the Q&A sessions later on. So see you there.
I say always in my taglines also that Canada is something where you should go to study, or you should take experience of such a country, because it gives you the exposure. It makes you globally competitive, and that is what my tagline is also, as you can see on the screen, right? I mean, that is something what I believe in, or work towards helping you in understanding in the coming presentation. So now, before we get into why Canada, how Canada, or who can apply to Canada, let us take a quick run through few of the statistics. Right, as you can see, 31% of international students in Canadian universities are from India, which is only second to China. So maximum number of students going abroad in terms of or choosing Canada as their master's postgraduate destination are from India, because they love the atmosphere, the people are welcoming there, and that is something they want to, you know, experience as students going to a different country. In the past 9 years, there has been 185%, which is a massive increase in the amount of international students going to Canada. Obviously, there has to be a certain reason why people are choosing Canada for that matter. And the reason is the amount of comfort they get as a country, how welcoming they are, and the amount of opportunities they get as a student or when they start working in these universities. It is really applaudable. Now, the next point states that 80% of international students successfully get jobs after they complete their education in Canada. Now, when I present this, a lot of times people take this the other way. So I'm going to explain the other side. That is what happens to the 20%, right? The 20%, like we all know, not everyone is going to a country to study and settle in that particular place. So everybody has their own prerequisites as to what they want after they finish their education. Some want to shift to another country, some want to come back home and work. So they got their exposure in Canada, but they want to come back home and apply the knowledge learned there. So it is up to them as to decide whether they want to settle or not. But the opportunities are abundant after you finish your education. And the last point is Canada is fourth in hosting students from around the world, right? International students, just behind US, UK, and China. So you can see how welcoming as a country they are, and they include a lot of students. Now, this is just a basic statistics to help you get on page with why I want you, why I want students to go to Canada, or what is the purpose, right? So after the statistics, let us talk a bit about why Canada. So the first point is doesn't burn a hole in your pocket. Now, this is the beauty of Canada. Canada has several provinces, right? All of those provinces have their own set of universities. All of those universities have different tuition fees applied to their respective courses. And that is why I say it doesn't burn a hole in your pocket. We know our financial constraints. We know what course to do. We look at that particular province, we fit in the student's profile, and the student gets into the university. So he or she gets what he or she wants without affecting the financials. And that is why I believe a country which gives you the opportunity to explore and not let you spend a lot should be on your priority list. Study the best courses. Now, this is another part of Canada which I feel is really impressive, as they have specific courses designed not only for students to get the theoretical aspects cleared, but they work on the practical aspects as well, right? Now, as you all or most of you are looking for a master's, postgraduate, PhD kind of an opportunity, so obviously you are looking to specialize in a specific field of interest. So when we talk about getting into a specific field of interest, we need to know what kind of opportunities will be available to us while we study, so that we can apply that as well. And Canada does the same. And that is why I believe choosing Canada could be one of the detrimental things which you could do when deciding on a particular country. Obviously, the most favored of the criteria as to why people choose Canada is the settlement opportunities, right? So after you finish your education, you get 2 to 3 years extended postgraduate work visa where you can work, find a job, and after completing that, you can definitely apply for a PR, which you will easily get, and then that gets converted into the passport. So the transition from postgraduate studies to postgraduate work visa to to PR to the passport is not technically that much difficult. It's just how you plan it out. It's how you look at it, right? Then we look into earn while you learn, right? This is another distinguished factor representing Canada. They give you co-op opportunities, one, and they also have in-campus jobs which they give students so they can earn something while they learn. Now, I'm a different person in the way I approach this. Some look at it from the money perspective, which is but natural. But for me, it is a very different thing when I earn while I learn, because it doesn't only help me earning certain amount of money, but it makes me responsible as an individual, as a student, and I start taking onus of my life. I feel responsible. I consider I'm able to pay my living expenses, and the tuition is the only thing I need to be worried about. So those kind of opportunities in terms of co-op. Now, co-op will give you better idea and perspective into the courses because they are aligned with the courses you do, right? So when you're part of a university, when you're part of a particular course, they give you a summer term where you work with a company and apply the knowledge which you're learning in the class in the company. The company at the end will give a certificate after you finish your summer term, and they will sign that these many credits were completed. This is the signing letter. That letter, when reaches the university decides your grade according to that. Now this opens doors to two things. One is you can get a good grade, and at the same point of time you get to meet an employer and build a connection. Now we cannot say for certain that that employer will give us the opportunity to work with them, but you never know how things can turn, and once you finish your course, that is the place you will be joining to work. So that is how we relate these opportunities. We understand different things which are related to a country, I mean to particularly the co-op program. Learn from the best in the business. The professors, I mean the faculty is so well equipped with the knowledge. The professors are either master, postgrad, or mostly PhD qualified to provide you with the extensive knowledge related or pertaining to the subject you're studying. They are so highly dedicated and devoted to what they are doing that they will make sure that at PG level you guys get the best experience of your life. And I think every one of us who wants to explore or study in a country, I mean, in a place where we want to understand, where we want to get to know about a particular course, about to explore our wings, we need that kind of exposure. We need such professors, right? I mean, I have learned from my students that it is highly comfortable that one day you sit on your PC and you just drop an email to the professor you're studying with. Hey sir, greetings for the day. I just need to meet you regarding one equation I could not understand. Can we meet? And the professor will immediately reply, and you will have an appointment with them just to discuss that one equation. That is the kind of devotion these professors show towards giving the best experience for students. Last but not the least, the cultural diversity of that place is excellent. People coming from different backgrounds, different cultures. And as I already said in the beginning, people are very welcoming in the country. When they meet international students, you would see that Canada is also one of the most safest city and has the best environment to get yourself acquainted with and explore the opportunities you can get while you study. So I believe these are the reasons why you should look into Canada as a country. Now we went through the statistics. I told you a bit about why Canada. Now let me tell you what courses are there available for your discretion. I mean, there are a few courses which we will look into, like at master's level. As you can see in science, you may go through engineering and technology, life sciences, medicine, computer science and information systems, pharmacy and pharmacology, natural sciences. In arts, you have psychology, philosophy, English language and literature, while in commerce, you have business management, accounting and finance, economics and econometrics, public administration. So all of these things are available to you, or you can avail these courses when you apply. At doctorate level also, they have abundant courses available in the streams of science, arts, and commerce. So if you are thinking of getting the right kind of education, I think there is no better place than Canada to study. And even in the time of COVID, they have been so cooperative with the international students. And I just spoke recently to a couple of my students. One is in University of British Columbia and one is in University of Waterloo. But they have taken so much care of the students because they weren't able to travel during the lockdown to their home country. So they have made sure that these students are safe. And at the same point of time, they aren't just sitting at home. They have been given their summer assignments. Usually this period from April to July, August is basically the summer break, but they have given them summer assignments and they are keeping in touch with them regularly to see and check and have a check on them, which I find really fascinating. Now, moving on from the courses offered to what universities offer them. So this is just a basic list of universities which we can look into while we help you apply, right? We look into different provinces, as I said, depending upon a lot of things. There are parameters which we need to look into while we apply to Canada, right? I told you the statistics, I gave you an insight as to why Canada, I gave you the courses offered, which you must have aligned with your requests or your prerequisites, and now you think that you may be able to apply. But there are certain things which we also need to take into account, and that is who can apply, what Canada wants. That is something which a lot of times students ask, like when me and Santosh sir are discussing, they usually ask us the same question as to there are these different universities, and how do we quantify which universities to apply to, or how do we look into what is required at their end, right? So these are the universities, but we'll have to profile you first in terms of understanding which course, which university, which province. According to all of that, we can make a decision as to if you are good to go in that particular university or not. So let us look at what Canada wants. Canada as a country, they stress a lot on education. Education for them is everything, right? And when you talk about education, they definitely look into your undergraduate GPA. Now, when I say a high undergraduate GPA, I mean if you consider it out of 10, somewhere above 7 is considered a high or a higher GPA for a student. Now, they will definitely look into it because as a country, they focus more on academics. So if you are academically strong or you have done a lot of things while studying, they consider all those things when they look into the opportunities they offer you, right? If they want to offer some kind of a scholarship, or they want to offer you the co-op program, or they want to just normally offer you whatever course you're applying for. So whenever you apply to these things, they look into your undergraduate GPA on priority. That's the first thing. Second, they look into the projects you undertake at an undergraduate level. Now, projects can be defined into internal and external. Now, we all know at an undergraduate level, we are exposed in terms of in the second, third year to different types of projects which we are accustomed to take up. They all are important in terms of their relativity, right? Their relevance with what you are applying for. So just a normal project will also add value to your application, but something which appeals or is relevant to the course you are applying. So a project under that particular circumstances will add more value and give a lot of credibility, right? If after or during your undergraduate degree, you have some kind of work experience in terms of internship or job, which you decided to take up after you finish your undergraduate and then plan to apply, that will also add as an advantage. So internships or job opportunities do add a lot of value. Now, as we know, Canada is bilingual, they speak English and French, but if you are proficient in English in terms of IELTS or TOEFL, whichever exam you choose to give and show the proficiency, you should be fine to visit Canada. There shouldn't be any problem. You should have a great experience of Canada. while exploring the opportunities you will get at each and every step provided by the university, by your specific department, and the professors with an amazing learning experience. Now, yes, I have asterisk mark GRE and GMAT because these are kind of the exams which are required at certain stage for certain courses, not for all. So it is not a mandatory requirement. But if you ask me, if you are going to prepare, make sure that you get the best course for these adaptive competitive exams, because it will give you an additional advantage over the students who are applying to Canada for their master's and PhD courses, right? So that's pretty much it what I wanted to say. Once again, thank you, Santosh sir, and for providing me with a lovely opportunity. I wish all the best for the students, and I know you will make the right kind of choice. Thank you.
Now I'm going to talk about US. Okay, so first of all, we need to understand if we are targeting any country, why we are targeting that country. So the first question that appears is why US? So the first important point is, see, there are over 4,500 universities for master's level and higher education, out of which about 1,700 universities are specifically good for engineering type of master's degrees. Okay, so you have huge number of institutions to choose from. Okay, so you have option available for going for a master's degree in different universities. The choice of university may depend on the cost incurred, maybe the courses that are offering, or what kind of faculty is there, what kind of research opportunities are there, and so on. So that is the first important point why one should choose USA. Second opportunity is regarding their comprehensive approach to postgraduate education. They specifically look after your academics. They specifically look after your research skills and requirements. They also reward you for the teaching ability and research ability. Okay, so if you are going for USA for master's or PhD level education, they will give you the best opportunities for conducting any research in your kind of field. Then the third thing that we need to consider while going for USA is the ranking. Okay, so usually any of the career advisors from FACT, we don't usually recommend students to go for rankings, but if you are going for it, then definitely you will find in top 50 universities, about 50% of them, that is 24 universities, they are based in US. So in any kind of world ranking of universities, maybe QS ranking, maybe US News ranking, maybe n number of other ranking institutes, you will find almost 50% of the top 50 to top 100 universities, they are coming from USA. So first thing that we have learned is there are a number of universities to choose from based on your cost expectations, based on your career expectations, based on your course expectations. Similarly, the second thing is they're giving us the best opportunity for conducting any research or teaching assessments. Third is they have well-known world-class universities. Out of 50 top universities, 24 are from US. Then the fourth thing that we need to consider is the international outlook. Okay, now when we talk about international outlook, we need to consider that because US is world's best economy or the greatest economy, many of the students, they are willing to go for US based on the job requirements. Okay, so if you see, every year there is a data called as student mobility, where data is given on based on how many students are going in for a country and how many students are going out of that country for education. So if you check that data for USA, you will find about 1 million students every year, they go for their education, maybe bachelor's education, maybe master's education, maybe PhD level education in USA. So it is the top location for students going for higher education. And the last thing is they have wonderful funding opportunities. Okay, what do we mean by wonderful opportunity? So if you're going for, say, MS course in computer science, you may find that you will be getting about 60 to 70% of tuition fee waiver in the form of scholarship or direct funding. There are students who get usually 30 to 40% up to 50% scholarships. Okay, if you are going for PhD, you can try for full funded PhD program. Okay, so only the ticket to and fro that you have to spend from your pocket, rest of the funding, it will come from university in a form of stipend as well as in a form of direct tuition fee waiver. Okay, so these are the 5 opportunities that you will have in US. Okay, now if we are going for any particular country, we need to understand the minimum qualifications required in order to get into that country. So usually 7.0 GPA out of 10 is considered as a good CGPA. However, if you have all the other aspects in your profile, say you have a paper presented, you have a paper published, maybe as some kind of international journal citations, say some kind of patent, then even a less CGPA is also acceptable. Okay, so we have placed students starting from 6 CGPA, even 5.5 CGPA for that matter, with 2 KTs, with 3 KTs, if the other profile aspects are better. Okay, but if everything is like normal or mediocre, then you need to have a good CGPA, about 7. Okay, usually in US for masters as well as PhD, 4 years of bachelor's is required. Okay, so any professional course, you have 4 years of bachelor's. Then what about the courses like BCom or BSc in physics or chemistry or math, maybe something else, say arts? So what about those students? If you have 3 years of bachelor's degree, we can try to get into a good university. Okay, we can apply to certain universities where 3 years of bachelor's is acceptable. However, all those universities are top ranking universities, hence you need to have a very high GRE score. Okay, but if you don't want to go after 3 years, you can pursue 1 year PG diploma course in India, which is relevant to your course. Okay, obviously, if you're going from for a background of international business, and if you're doing something which has nothing to do with that course, then that kind of certification is of no use for getting a job afterwards. Okay, so from that point of view, if you have 3 years degree, then it is recommended to go for a 1 year PG diploma course in any nearby recognized institute, and then you can go for masters or PhD. Okay, by the way, I would like to tell you here that in order to pursue your PhD in US, most of the courses, they don't require master's level education. You can directly go for a PhD course. Okay, having said that, the third important point that you need to know is you need to have a high GRE score. Okay, we will talk about GRE even for IELTS and TOEFL in detail in the next slides. Okay, so now what exams you have to face? So the first exam that you have to face is called as a GRE exam. I have spoken about it in the last slide, right? So what is GRE exam now? GRE exam is a 340 marks exam plus 6 pointers additional qualification round. Okay, out of this 340 marks, 170 marks are for quants, which is nothing but math, right? And 170 marks are for verbal, which is nothing but English. Okay, so for that, in order to secure 170 marks from quants and 170 marks for English, you need to tackle 80 questions, 40 from each quants as well as verbal. Okay, so it is about 4 hours ka exam, out of which 40 questions you have to solve from quants, 40 questions you have to solve from English. However, there is a separate 6-pointer marking for AWS section, which is analytical writing assessment. Okay, here this is a qualifying criteria. Like if you say any kind of 12 standard score is required as a qualifying criteria to getting into a good university or a good institute after your high school in bachelor's education, say in India, similarly there's 6 pointers AWS score, out of which 3 pointers is a average requirement for qualifying into any particular university. Okay. Having said that, because US is a native English speaking country, you need to have a strong foundation in English. Okay, so how can you demonstrate your efficiency and ability to speak and understand everything that is spoken in English? For that, you need to go for either TOEFL or IELTS. Okay, so TOEFL and IELTS, they usually have 4 sessions: reading, listening, writing, and speaking. So every section, say in TOEFL, it is about 120 marks examination, out of which the 4 sections are divided into 30 marks each. Okay, so they will test your reading ability, listening ability and understanding, listening and comprehension, by the way, then speaking skills and writing skills, and they will evaluate all these skills based on 30 marks, total to 120. Okay, this is particularly good if you are having US as a primary option. Going for TOEFL is best if you are considering US as a primary option. However, if you are considering some other country as an option as well, then I will recommend you to go for IELTS exam instead of TOEFL. Here, the sessions are similar: reading, speaking, listening, and writing. However, the examination is conducted on 0 to 9 band basis, out of which 5.5 is minimum visa approval criteria. Okay, 5.5 is not sufficient for getting into university. Let me clarify. 5.5 is a visa approval criteria. You need to get at least 6.5 or better in order to get into a good university. Okay, so now we have talked about why one should consider USA. We have talked about what qualification criteria are required. We have talked about what exams you need to give in order to go to USA. Now we need to understand US is suitable for what kind of students. Okay, so the students who come in from STEM backgrounds or who are willing to go for STEM kind of courses, it is the best destination for those students. Okay, so what is STEM course? STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Okay, so if your course has anything to do with science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, US is the best destination for you. Okay, the students who wants to pursue research, okay, in their respective fields, then US is the best destination. US is highly recommended for all those students who want to do something in their respective field, okay, in the form of research or in the form of some scholarly articles. Okay, then third is it is best for all the students who want to have a good funding opportunity. Okay, so those students who don't want to spend a lot of money, they need to have high scholarships. So US is the best destination for them. Okay, so having said that, we need to also address US is not suitable for which kind of students. So the students who are not ready to work hard, okay, those students who are not ready to deliver something towards their profile, US is not the best destination. Okay, in US, you cannot just copy paste your assignments. In US, you cannot just go for any kind of course without showing your ability to perform. Mediocreness is not allowed in US. Okay, so all the students who are ready to work very hard, US is the destination. For those who are not ready to work hard, US is not for you. Okay, then all those students who are not ready to give GRE and TOEFL exams, every year, every semester, we meet some students जो कि आके कहते हैं कि सर बिना GRE के भेज सकते हो क्या? So for all those students, my clear-cut answer is no. Okay, so अगर GRE नहीं देना है, if you are not willing to go for GRE, not for TOEFL, you should not consider USA as an option because you will be spending a hefty amount of money, right? So you need to be ready to deliver the best that you can for being eligible for the US. Okay, and the last thing is students who only want to go there for settlement purpose, who are not interested in learning anything. Okay, so अगर सीखने जाना है, if you want to learn something from the best faculty with the best infrastructure with the state-of-the-art technology, then US is the destination. But only for settlement, if you are going, then US is not an option for you. Okay, so thank you. This is all that I wanted to tell you. Okay, but I'm here for answering your questions. You can ask anytime. Thank you, sir.